welcome to episode 18 of my Desert Only Ironman. This is a monumental episode, as you may have seen from the intro. We finally get to attempt our first Kalphite Queen. Before we get there, I did do a little bit of the Sorceress Garden to get my farming level up to level 17, as well as to get some thieving experience. If you're not aware, you can turn in these squirt juices for 2,300 experience each, so I ended up getting 32,900 experience from the entire lot of squirt juices that I got, and that got me up to level 51 thieving, which opens up one more room in the Pyramid Plunder minigame. But without further ado, there's only one thing that we were going for in this episode, and that was to kill the Kalphite Queen, so let's hop into that. For my first attempt at Kalphite Queen, it's just going to be a test run, so I'm not really bringing the gear that I'm anticipating I'm going to need. I'm going to try the flinching method. If you're not familiar with what the flinching method is, I will show you in the upcoming clips. But I decided just to bring my Karis with the rune chain body, blue d'hide chaps, my strength amulet, and my coif with the green d'hide. I'm not too sure why I didn't put on leather boots going into it, but later on in later runs I did manage to do that. And then I just brought some lobsters and anchovy pizzas along with my runes, which was a mistake. There was no way that I was going to be able to get to the mage phase and still have plenty of food left to tank all of the Kalphite Queen's hits. But again, I do anticipate dying a couple times, so I needed to make sure that I didn't bring my best gear or my best food, just so I can kind of get a good idea of what to expect going forward. But anyways, let's go ahead and run down there and see what we can do with our first attempt. Okay, just to show up a sped up version of the flinching method, you need to walk the Kalphite Queen into a corner of the Kalphite lair, and then you need to get the two Kalphite Guardians to box her in, as you see here. If you try and get the Kalphite soldiers to do it, they will not be able to do it, just because after I think about 5 minutes they disappear off of the map, and then the Kalphite Queen can get loose. But the two Kalphite Guardians will never get teleported off the map. And then once you get to phase 2 of the mage phase, I attempted to kind of safe spot her around the middle pillar of the cave. The only problem is when you are safe spotting, if you get a successful hit with magic, it will be an automatic attack for the Kalphite Queen, but if you just flinch it, it will not hit you unless you hit it. It's a really weird mechanic. And on my first run, I ended up running out of food quickly, and I got poisoned as well, so I had to teleport out or avoid having to run back and pick up my stuff. But anyways, it was a pretty good run. I did realize that I'm going to need to make it a two run kind of setup. I'm going to go ahead and kill the first phase with the flinching method, and then immediately teleport out so that I can reload on food and put all my runes into my inventory, and then go through the final phase with a full inventory of food. I was able to get to phase 2 on my next Kalphite Queen attempt, and I ended up doing the same thing that happened in the first run where I ran out of food. Again, every time you hit Kalphite Queen with a successful magic attack, she will hit you back, so the best food I can get is the most important. As well as you just see there, after 20 minutes on Kalphite Queen phase 2, it will revert back to phase 1 if you have not killed it, no matter how close you are to killing it. I think at that point I was about a quarter of the way left. But anyways, that's kind of how the cookie crumbles here, and I needed to think of a way that could get me more DPS, and I decided that Wind Wave at level 62 magic was my best option with blood runes. So I decided to go with that option going forward. And my next couple of Kalphite Queen runs did not turn out the way I wanted to, as you can see here. One last thing that I didn't get into earlier in the video is that every time I die, I lose my Karis, and you have to pay 20k just to get it back. So I ended up dying 5 or 6 times. So I'm already out 120k just by dying. So these trips will get very expensive, so I probably will have to go back to the agility pyramid at some point and regroup my cash stack. But anyways, that's the end of phase 1, and let me get geared up for phase 2 and run quickly back to the Kalphite Queen. we go. Kalphite Queen kill number 1. I wasn't able to record my live reaction just because I was so focused in just praying that I wouldn't die with my 2 hit points. And now the second challenge of this kill is to pick up the loot without dying. So my goal here is to pick up the brew first, brew up, and then pick up the weapon poison, because a weapon poison is extremely important out of this kill. So luckily I was able to brew up before I got hit by the Kalphite soldier, which I really didn't even need to get hit by. I could have teleported out right away, but I was just panicking at this point, and then I finally realized I could go ahead and teleport out with my brew and my 5 weapon poison plus pluses for my first Kalphite Queen kill of the account. Hopefully the first of a lot. I was actually so excited to get the weapon poison as my first kill just because of what it opens up for future kills. It will speed up the melee phase, or phase 1, so much faster. Once I get my first hit, it will immediately start poisoning at a rate of every, I think, 15 seconds that it hits a 6, and then it will eventually drop down to 5-4, all the way down to 1. But that's going to pick up the speed because the first phase, just using the Karis and just stabbing it, can take upwards of 25 minutes if I don't get lucky with my hits. But by poisoning the Karis, it will now allow me to get easier, faster kills, not use as much food, and possibly even try to do a one-trip Kalphite Queen. As well as with the weapon poison, I decided that I needed to put the poison on a rune dagger as well, just because it does allow me to save the rune dagger in the event that I die so many times with the Karis. Like I mentioned in earlier clips, if I die, for some reason the Karis does not have any value, so it's always lost on death if I have more than 3 items, which I think is absurd just because it is an untradeable weapon, and it should have some value because it costs 20k just to have. But anyways, I'm going to put that weapon poison on my rune dagger here, and then with that I'm going to use the other 4 Karises, because I actually do end up dying a few more times in this episode with the Karis, so that kind of loses all my weapon poisons except for 1. And then I have the rune dagger just in case I run out of Karises by dying too much. I can use the rune dagger to at least poison the Kalphite Queen before using the Karis for the remainder of the kill. But anyways, kill number 1 is done. I used half the brew, so that's not really useful at this point. I can save it for future runs. And then the weapon poison is huge and probably one of the best items I can get for my first kill. After my first kill, I immediately ran back to Kalphite Queen to try again, and it turns out that the melee phase is so much faster. I think I killed it within 1 dose of my combat potion, so that's about 10 or 11 minutes. I think I drank a second one right at the end there, but with that I was able to kill the Kalphite Queen's first phase quickly, and as you see there, I was able to poison the second phase with the Karis. It showed a 6 damage, but when I ended up running back to the Kalphite Queen, it showed no health was lost, so I think that might have just been kind of like a glitch or something, or maybe when you leave the room it loses its poison. But I ended up bringing the Kalphite Queen back down to, I think, about 2 or 3 health at this point. I was able to poison it with a Karis, but it took me so long to poison the second phase that I actually ended up losing all of my food. And what I wanted to do here was to induce a hit by the Kalphite Queen, and it turns out that we killed each other. And all I can see is that I got death runes, so I don't know what the second item was. Kalphite Queen always drops 2 items. One's going to be just any item, and then the second one's consumable, so food or potions. So luckily it was just death runes and nothing too important like a D-chain or like a dragon 2-hander. But my second kill did not go as smooth as the first kill, but I can't complain. I'm getting so much faster at this. As you see here, this is my 3rd kill, and I actually got this method from Caveman Only. I watched his video on the Kalphite Queen. He just did the flinch method the entire kill, but he did not have poison at the time. So with my poison, it was able to hit the Kalphite Queen just enough to kill it. It actually took me 18 or 19 minutes on this phase as well, just because it has a protected melee, it does not hit very high. But luckily, if you get a couple lucky hits in, it will poison, and the poison does about 50, or actually closer to like 60 or 70 total damage during the whole duration of the poison. So if you can poison it twice during the kill, it will pretty much kill the entire thing. And I'm not sure if I show my inventory here, but it does save me so much more food, and this was a 1 inventory kill. And at this point, I'm just waiting for the poison to knock off the last couple of hit points for the Kalphite Queen. And I actually ended up killing it with a melee hit, which was surprising. So luckily, I was able to save some food here, make it one trip inventory, and I got 2 prayer potions and 100 blood runes. But if you realize in this clip, I left a prayer potion on the ground. I thought I kind of clicked that spot a couple times to pick it all up, but I ended up losing a prayer potion. So overall, in 3 Kalphite Queen kills, I got 1 successful kill. We killed each other in the second one, and the third one, when I killed Kalphite Queen, I didn't pick up all the loot, and that prayer potion is very important just because I don't have any more prayer potions. I use them all in all of my failed attempts as well as my 3 successful attempts. But I think with the flinching method for both phases, I think I can farm Kalphite Queen pretty quickly. Not that quickly, just because it still takes me about 30 to 40 minutes to kill Kalphite Queen with my current setup and stats. So my goal going forward is to raise my attack level up to at least 65 before I go back. I'd like 70, but I think I'm just gonna go for a Kalphite Queen kill at level 65. But anyways, I'm just gonna train here for a while. In the next episode, I will definitely get some more kills going in Kalphite Queen. Hopefully get some good drops, maybe some more weapon poison, as I've been losing those quickly. But anyways, thanks for watching. This was a big episode. It's been 8 or 9 months in the making since I started the account, and I finally got to the Kalphite Queen. So if you did enjoy this video, please hit that like button. It helps me out tremendously. And if you have not yet subscribed, that would help me out a lot too. But anyways, thanks for watching, and see you next time.